Hi, I'm Pastor Mark Anderson. I've been pastor for a while, and I've been using the Prepare Enrich assessment for about 10 years, and for both premarital and marital counseling. It's been such a helpful tool, and I want to just share with you one story about, I'll call their names Tom and Mary. And Tom and Mary came to me for premarital counseling, and she had a history of abuse, and this came out because of the Prepare Enrich assessment tool that has an area in there that talks about that. So I was able to talk with her about that and several relationships that she had before the one that she was going to get into for marriage. Now, Tom and Mary, as I went through the assessment, I found right away that they had what the Prepare Enrich calls idealistic distortion, was very high. And I could tell that with them. They later moved up their wedding day, and they wanted to get married sooner. I had some concerns about that because I felt like I needed to work with them some more on some of the assessment things that I thought needed to be talked about. But I went along with that. I began to work toward their marriage and getting ready for that and get as much in as I could with the assessment as possible. Well, afterwards I had set up a time where they could come in, sort of get a checkup. And so I used actually the same Prepare Enrich material after they got married as before. And so we began to look at some of the things that they were struggling with after they had gotten married. Mary was like almost dumbfounded. She says, "Is this the same guy that I married, that I knew beforehand, before we had the marriage?" And I was pointing out to her it was because that she had a very idealistic idea of what marriage was about. And so we were working with them on that. Later, she was getting very frustrated with him about many things. And so I was helping them through that time. But later she decided, you know, I want to divorce this man. And I was very sad about that. And again, I reminded her of what all that they had gone through, and that there was much more that we could do. So I gave her a little booklet on divorce saying, before you say I don't. She took that little booklet and read it, and she was very convicted in her heart that so many of the things that she was looking at was because of selfish reasons. So she decided to stay in the marriage and begin to work through the things that we had talked about. Well, later on, the good news is that after talking about these things, seeing it from a new perspective, they finally had a marriage renewal ceremony, and it was just beautiful. And from then on, they now have had a strong marriage. They have a child, and he takes care of her beautifully, and things have been going so much better. So that's my Prepare Enrich story, and it's a very exciting one to see because it goes all the way from pre-marriage through the marriage time and seeing a great result in that.